For Creamer Media's Polity, I'm Thabi Madiba, researcher and analyst Professor Raymond Suttner. Join me for Suttner's View, a weekly commentary on South Africa's political scene. Welcome, Professor.
Thank you.
There are a lot of expectations surrounding the ANC December conference. What do you think will happen?
Yeah, I don't want to sound cynical, but I think people are investing, some people are investing hopes and expectations beyond what can possibly happen at this conference. I mean, you have the CEO of Woolworths, the CEO of Investec, Dennis George of Fedusa, the trade unionist, all saying after December we hope this, that and the other will happen. And I think the assumption that a lot of people have is that if Cyril Ramaphosa is elected, possibly Zweli Mkhize, they will clean up government, not just the ANC. But the elections are not for government. The elections are actually for the ANC presidency. Pravin Gordhan the other day said Cyril Ramaphosa must push JZ out of government, send him off to Nkandla. Now that, to me, is rhetoric. You see, it's good rhetoric, and it's a good idea, but how's it going to work? And we've got to ask ourselves, what exactly happens in the ANC conference? ANC conference is to elect the president of the ANC. And from what is being reported, ANC is in disarray. There's litigation in a number of provinces. There are disputed elections. The possibility is there that someone who is not pro-Zuma will be elected, although it's by no means a foregone conclusion. Some reports say that Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma did better in Limpopo than Cyril Ramaphosa had done, various things like that. So we don't know what the outcome can be of this conference, and it may well be that it can break into disarray, like in the Eastern Cape Conference. Or it's possible that if it appears that the Zuma candidate or someone sympathetic to Zuma is going to be defeated, that they will try and make the conference collapse through violence or other means. So there's, whoever is elected is going to be elected, if they are elected at all, if the conference doesn't collapse, it's possible that the person will be elected from an atmosphere of confusion and disarray, with people claiming that the vote was rigged, or that some of the delegates who voted didn't have proper credentials, or some who did have proper credentials were not accredited despite that. So there's all that behind whoever gets elected. Now, let's say that Cyril Ramaphosa or Zweli Mkhize is elected. They're not elected president of the country. Jacob Zuma remains president of the country unless he is removed. Now, I've remarked on this before here, that when the ANC NEC called for the recall of Thabo Mbeki, he complied. Thabo Mbeki understood that it was not desirable to remain president of the country when he had lost the confidence of the organization whom he represented, even if this was the national executive and not the organization as a whole. Now, Zuma is not the same type of person. He may well respond by ignoring their request, or he may take bold action, like removing Cyril Ramaphosa as deputy president, if he is still deputy president at that time. You had ENCA claiming an exclusive story that Cyril Ramaphosa may be removed. James Motlati, former president of NUM, saying he has intelligence to that effect. Doesn't sound very hard to me, but I mean, it's possible. Anything is possible with Jacob Zuma. So that the conference itself, if there's a very decisive victory of an anti-Zuma candidate, it means that there's a real body of support for whatever the president of the ANC tries to do. But I'm not sure that it is so easy to get rid of Zuma and the Zumaites in various echelons of government, and that consequently people who are focusing on what they call the race are actually doing us a disservice, in the sense that they're not looking at all the other factors that will determine what will happen to South Africa in the future.
But is there not any expectation that after December it is possible for the country to take a turn for the better?
That expectation is based on the assumption that Jacob Zuma will be removed. And alternatively, even if Jacob Zuma is not removed by the ANC, if they're not able to do this, in the 2019 elections, there is the hope on the part of some people that the DA and its allies, or let's say people who it's in relationships with in various local governments, will come together to form a majority to remove the ANC. And what we've seen in the period since 2016 is that the DA is not able to manage these coalitions adequately. And you have on the one side the ANC, which has lost its image as a powerful liberation movement with incredible legitimacy, which has gone sour. There was a time when ANC was described as a dominant party, and some people said you can't consolidate democracy if the ANC is never going to be defeated. Like 20 years ago, that was what many scholars used to write. Now, the situation now is that the ANC is the strongest party, but it is by no means certain that it will win elections again. However, it looks to me more likely that we're entering into a period of instability. Instability in the strongest party, which is the ANC, and instability in the relationships between the various opposition parties. So I think 2017 may make things worse in terms of divisions in the ANC, and divisions in the ANC have repercussions for the country as a whole. And even if Cyril Ramaphosa were to come in, he will come in with a divided ANC, and I'm not so confident that things will look better after that.
Thank you, Professor.
Thank you.
That was Professor Raymond Suttner speaking to Creamer Media's Polity about what to expect from the ANC December conference.